Well, hi guys. I'm doing this webinar from Riga. I just arrived today, and I'm going to Riga Dev Day from Wednesday to Friday. So I'm really excited to be here. You can see, you can see this nice room. This is not my room, of course. Let me just. So I'm really excited to be here. You can. Let me just. Sorry, I have another screen. Like I was hearing myself. So, well, we have Martin here.
Hi guys.
Hi Martin. So I'm just going to say some basic rules. So we have this questionnaire, so you can write your questions just on the page. You can also ask questions in Twitter. You can use AngularJS_labs, and we will check them out, and I'll ask Martin if he's able to help. And well, Martin is going to talk about ngMetadata. And before you start, Martin, I'd like to tell a little story from NGNL.
Sure.
Yeah, it's okay?
Yeah, go for it.
So I was speaking at NGNL, and we were sharing a nice hotel. And then just the days of the conference, I was having breakfast with other guys, and then I saw like Igor Mina, and it was sharing the table with you, Martin.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
And it seems like they were in a dense conversation, and I got there, and I don't remember what was the topic. I think it was something about transpiling Typescript or something like that. And then Martin told me about ngMetadata. So I got really interested, and I'd like you to tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure.
How it sounds.
It's just perfect. That's the reason why I'm here.
Okay, cool. Well, before that, okay, I forgot to introduce the webinar. So I'm starting this webinar. This is the first webinar, and I'll try to invite anyone from the community that has something to share. It doesn't need to be like a really dense topic, or like, well, today we are presenting like a GitHub project, but it could be anything that you are passionate about and you want to share, your thoughts on with the other guys. So yeah, let's just that now we have covered what we will be doing in the webinars. I think you can start with your explanations.
Perfect.
So tell me a little bit more about ngMetadata.
Sure, you got it. So let me share my screen.
Cool.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
Okay, maybe just wait for a second. Do you see it now?
Okay. Yes.
Perfect. So today we'll be talking about how to write Angular 2 with TypeScript and ngMetadata. So something about me, who am I? As you may notice, I like Star Wars. My name is Martin Hochel. I'm software engineer at EmbedIT in Prague. You can talk to me at Twitter or at GitHub. I'm also organizer of NG Party meetup in Prague, Czech Republic, and I'm the author of ngMetadata. So enough about me. I would like to thank Gerard for this opportunity, and I really love what is happening right now in Angular community.
I know this logo.
Yeah, yeah, that's our logo. So
well, I like your logo. I think I told you.
Yeah, you did. I gave you stickers, remember?
Really cool logo.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm really happy that this is happening. All right, so let's go to the topic. Angular 1. I assume all of you know Angular 1. So Angular 1 is amazing, right?
Yeah, right.
Cool. So it gives a separation of concerns, testing support, declarative HTML, It forces you to write maintainable code. But when we started to write our code, it looked like this. It doesn't look like very maintainable. It's kind of spaghetti. I hear you, jQuery.
Is that your code?
No, that's the student MVC example. So yeah,
okay.
that wasn't nice. So we did it all wrong at the beginning. We introduced control hell, ng include all the way, scope soup, and many other anti-patterns. But we are smart people, and we got lessons learned. And we started to leverage component-driven architecture. For those who don't know what it is, it's architecture that your application is a component tree, and there is one-day data flow. It's really important to write your apps this way if you want to migrate from Angular 1 to Angular 2, because under the hood, Angular 2 leverages these techniques. So it's really important. If you want to know more, there is a link for a fantastic blog post by Tero, and he's guiding you step by step how to refactor from the old code to the component-driven. So, and also a very important concept are smart and dumb components, which came from React, I think. So I won't go into details. Tero explains this pretty well on his blog post.
Yeah.
Cool. So JavaScript is also amazing, right? It's all about JavaScript nowadays.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, sure. But ES5, we got ES5. It doesn't support all the great things like other more mature languages have. But in summer 2015, we get the new ES6 standard, which gives us a lot of benefits, a lot of new constructs and whatnot. So that's perfect. But I don't know about you, but I've written JavaScript applications, very huge enterprise application, and it's really hard to work with pure JS in those apps. So what can we do about that? There is the thing called TypeScript. Did you heard about TypeScript?
Yes.
Yeah, so what is TypeScript? So TypeScript starts and ends with JavaScript. It's a superset of ECMAScript. We get ES5 above ES6. Then we have some future features like ES7 and optional typing system. And this is really important for huge applications. When we compile the code, the types are removed. So there's just vanilla JS, and it is leveraged also as a transpiler. Maybe you know Babel. So TypeScript does similar thing. So it's pretty cool. And what about the TypeScript stuff? It gives you type inference, gradual typing. You got optional types, so it doesn't forces you to type everything like in statically typed languages. The types are structural, so it's pretty flexible, and you can configure the type checking. You can turn it off if you want. So it doesn't force you to do anything. Every JavaScript file is a valid TypeScript file, so there is no reason why not to start using it. And also Angular team got his lessons learned. No transclusion.
Oh yeah, no, that's terrible. No transclusion, no.
Yeah, so they've written the new Angular in TypeScript, and this is really good design choice in my opinion. It gives us nice, simple, declarative API thanks to the new ECMAScript features and the TypeScript. And under the hood, they're using just the native platform. Most of these are module system, ECMAScript classes, and decorators. So there is no rocket science, no abstractions like we used to write in Angular 1. So how does it like in Angular 2? Let's look at a component. So here we have some simple component, and we are using ECMAScript module imports. So we are importing this component, which is basically a decorator that's providing a metadata for a class.
Yeah.
Then we have some special API provided by Angular to tell the class about how it should behave. And then we have vanilla ECMAScript class. So no rocket science. It looks pretty great for me. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, cool. So, and what is the async once again? Those are called decorators, and there are two types. Just decorators, which is basically a function which is decorating the target which you are providing, or you can use configurable decorators, which are returning another function. And this is the major thing that Angular 2 uses, the configurable decorators. We'll talk about them more later. All right, so this is Angular 2, and I would really like to do that Angular 1. Is this really possible? What can I do for this?
Well, can you do that?
You can, with ngMetadata, of course. So tell me about story, how it all started.
Yeah, when did you start working on ngMetadata? I think that's an interesting thing to explain here.
Yeah, so I love TypeScript. Since day one that Microsoft introduced it, it's really great benefit for development. And when I started at my current work, the UI team have used ES5 with Angular. So I was like, all right, I need to go back to write ES5 code. So this summer, I finally convinced them to switch to TypeScript with ES6. And
nice.
Yeah, it was a big win for me. And I have a lot of experience writing Angular with TypeScript, and it's like too much ceremony, too much boilerplate. So I was thinking, okay, Angular 2 is in dev preview or in alpha phase at that time. API looked good for me, reasonable. Decorators, classes, pretty solid. So what I did, I just wrote Angular 2 decorators and utilities for Angular 1. And yeah, let's go further and look how it works again.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. Let me see some code. Stop talking.
Yeah, stop talking, Martin. Everyone wants to see some code. All right. So let's talk about component, because this is the most important thing in your application. So here we have Angular 1.4 version, ECMAScript 5 of a directive, which is basically a component because it has isolate scope, restriction to element, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's a little bit verbose, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super verbose in my opinion. But we got now Angular 1.5, which gives us some sugar with this component.
Oh, that's much nicer.
Yeah, it's much nicer. And let's look how it looks in ngMetadata and TypeScript. So we have the 1.4 code in ES5. And here is ng1 with TypeScript and ngMetadata. And again, I'm just using the platform. Here are ES6 module import.
Yeah.
This is the decorator. It's specific API and vanilla ES6 class. And here I'm just registering the component to the Angular 1 container. And
yeah, well, sorry to interrupt you. That looks like really similar to Angular 2.
Yeah, let's like compare it with Angular 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is ngMetadata, Angular 1, TypeScript, and then the left side is Angular 2. Can you spot the differences?
Well, not on the first part. I think, yeah, when you are registering the directive, that bit is completely not there. So that's in Bootstrap in Angular 2.
Yeah, that's you don't need to do that in Angular 2 because it's another machinery, but we need to do that in Angular 1. So that's the only difference, which will be removed during migration. So,
okay. You're also using the spread operator there, isn't it?
Yep, the spread operator, because Angular directive API needs 2 arguments, like the string, the name, and the reference or the function. And this provide is returning an array.
Cool.
Which under the hood creates the name for you and the reference. So no magic strings, just references.
You're doing some magic there.
Yeah, I'm a magician. Not really.
But it's a refactoring, so it's good.
Yeah. All right. So how does the API looks? In Angular 2, the API is defined by those inputs and outputs, which are in Angular 1 bindings. So we have inputs properties, which are coming from the parent to the child, and we have events. If you want, there are outputs. They are coming from the child to the parent.
Oh, I like this slide. I think I'm going to use it.
So inputs. This is how this component in ngMetadata, and we are defining here inputs via some strings, and then we have to tell the Typescript compiler about those properties, so it won't get errors. And this is how it looked like in HTML when we define it. You may notice the second thing is the alias.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I like that. So you can use, different naming within your component that you're using in your, in your API, your public API. So it's a nice feature.
Yeah, and let's take a look at outputs. They work similar way. You just don't use inputs but outputs property, and the machinery is the same. Again, you have to define the properties or functions for the class for the Typescript compiler. And this is how it used again in HTML. So pretty straightforward. It looks like pretty the same in Angular 2. Okay, but you might notice those are just strings, and I really hate strings. They are not very good for refactoring. They introduce bugs, etc., etc. So what can we do about that? Again, the native platform gives us property decorators. Those are not special, anything special. Those are just decorators used for properties, not for class, but for the properties. Let's take a look. We have input decorator, which is equal to =sign in Angular 1 bindings. It will be by default one-way binding starting ngMetadata 2.0. So this is again the component which we had there. We are using inputs in a component decorator. And let's wait for it. Boom.
Nice.
Now we are using the property decorators. Everything is in one place. We have no duplication. We have no magical strings. We have just name of the property. So very concise, very readable. The same with output. Output decorator is the same as in Angular 1 & expression. So again, this is the code with the outputs property. And again, boom. We are using output decorators.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I think it's much readable, more maintainable. I like it. What do you think?
Well, it's lovely. The thing is that you are using Angular 1, but just writing the components like you would in Angular 2. So you are actually, well, not using Angular 2, but that's the closest I can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a little bit more about it. Maybe you are asking why. Why did I do this? Did you heard about ngForward?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the community-driven project. They did a pretty solid work, and they are doing something similar. But we have been talking lately with some team members, and we wanted to migrate our projects to just have one kind of this project for the community. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and it won't be happening. And I will tell you why.
What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, I will just tell you, it wasn't feasible for our use case for production code. It just tries ngForward to mimic the Angular 2 machinery. They are introducing there a lot of abstractions.
I see.
They're trying to use Angular 2 template style, those banana bindings, and you are pretty familiar with those.
Yeah.
And they're creating wrappers for almost all ng event directives. But again, those templates will never be Angular 2 templates. So
yeah, it feels a little bit out of place there.
Yeah. Also, they want to support all the language versions like Angular 2 does, ES5, ES6, and TypeScript. That's nice. But again, you can benefit of the TypeScript power. For example, you can use parameter decorators. So that was
maybe they are a little bit too ambitious there.
Yeah. And also there's a lack of Angular 1 specific API. For example, if you want to inject or require other directives to directive, it isn't possible. Like in many various situations, it can be done, but not in all situations. So that was really a deal breaker for us. And it lacks also ng2-like features. Like they don't support input-output decorators on the directive. They are missing some lifecycle hooks, and I got implemented all of these. And there is no ng upgrade support yet. There is an issue for it, but it's not ready yet. So those are just few reasons why I wrote a new library. Basically.
I see. The thing, sorry to interrupt you again, but
yeah, sure.
I think that what will happen is, because Angular 2 is still not released, once it's released, we will see a lot of teams and companies trying to move and migrate these projects and teams to use Angular 2. And then when that happens, they will need, approaches that can be, scalable. And usually if you have like a big team, like maybe 20 guys, you will tell them, okay, from tomorrow we will change all the stack and you will be using, I don't know, TypeScript. So at that time, they will need, all the options that they can get. And I think that ngMetadata and also ngUpgrade will play, an important role there.
Yeah. I mean, it depends, but I will talk about it a little more further. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So let's recap the ngMetadata. It uses pure Angular 1 API under the hood. There are no abstractions. It uses Angular 1 templates, supports everything that you can do in Angular 1. You can do it with ngMetadata.
Cool.
And very important thing is all the decorators are taken from Angular 2 codebase. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I used Angular 2 codebase for the decorators, and it works flawlessly.
Nice.
And it can be used as an upgrade strategy with ngUpgrade right away. So.
Okay, so it can be part of this strategy.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it depends, because if you're a situation like our companies with our huge enterprise projects, which is already in production, you can just afford right now to start using ngUpgrade and have a huge chunk of JavaScript to your users, because Angular 2 is still like 500 kilobytes, so it's not really feasible. And also our management is not okay to ship beta version of Angular 2 to the customers.
So what's your experience? Because I believe that you are using ngMetadata at your company. So what's your experience there?
So I think my colleagues love it. It's much nicer, and to write the code like this, we have TypeScript. We have not migrated everything yet, but it's a gradual upgrade. That's the nice thing about it, like component by component.
I think a lot of people will go for that approach, like a hybrid migration. Yeah.
I hope so. What I want to say is, like, all of you Angular 1 users, you have to migrate to Angular 2 because it's so much better. Really.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. If you ask me, then you should go for Angular 2 at the moment you can.
Yep, exactly. So let's recap the benefits of using TypeScript and ngMetadata. You are using the latest features, so you learn the new things and leverage them to the full extent. Your code is much cleaner. You have better tests because you don't have to introduce all the Angular machinery when you are using module system. And there's some nice wrappers in ngMetadata provided for unit testing. And it gives you Angular 2 mindset in Angular 1. So your team can already be familiar with Angular 2 when the time comes and you will switch.
Yeah, I like that approach.
Yeah, and if you are wondering if this is a weekend project or so, it isn't.
Oh, I thought it was a weekend. It's not.
Sorry?
Is it not?
Yeah, no, it isn't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's good that it's not.
I put a lot of hard work into it, so yeah. And what is the roadmap? Currently, there is 1.1 stable version right now. It supports Angular 1.5 and higher. I plan to release 1.2 in March, which will incorporate ng on changes lifecycle, which is in Angular 2. So you don't need to use scope anymore for extendable watches or so.
Cool.
And there will be a breaking change in 2.0. There will be a one-way data binding used by default in input properties, and it will support only Angular 1.5 and higher. And after that, I'm planning to do some more features like dependency injection sugar, like Angular 2 does, so you don't have to use the inject decorators, just the type annotations in TypeScript. And align and provide some APIs for ng upgrade.
Well, that's a lot of work, Martin, that you have, in your agenda.
Yeah, I love open source. What can I say?
Nice.
All right, so that's so nice, but maybe you're asking why not just go with Angular 2? Well, if you are fortunate enough, you can. If you have like small project, throw it away, rewrite it from the scratch in Angular 2. It's really amazing. But if you have huge projects, it's not possible just to throw it away and rewrite, stop the internet working during the time of rewrite.
It's not realistic as well.
Yeah. And why not just go immediately with ng upgrade? Well, as I said, it depends. It's a very feasible option to do it this way and to skip ng metadata. But if you are in a situation like we are, as I mentioned, we just cannot produce production-ready code with beta software, which is
that will be the case for some people, of course.
Yeah. So, and if you want to learn more, just hit the GitHub. There is a pretty expensive API documentations with examples. And this weekend, we did a workshop about ng1 ES5 migration to TypeScript and ngMetadata, step by step.
Nice, very good.
So you can check it out, try it to like hands-on if it's working for you. And I would like to invite you, if you will be lucky enough and be in Prague around 30th of March. We are doing a first ever Angular focus conference in Czech Republic. Yay! And it will be purely...
I didn't know about it. Oh, that's the conference you invited me, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Now I know.
So yeah, we will have international speakers. We will have Igor Minar on Hangouts for half hours. So it is for free. So yeah, check it out.
Wow, very good, very good. Well, I think that was a lot of information.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Martin. I think, have you finished? Maybe.
That's it. If you get any questions, hit me on Twitter. These slides will be available after this webinar. So
yeah, you can. We will post these materials on the same page that we are broadcasting, so everyone has access to it. We also have the meetup page and some other places where we will be commenting and answering questions. So, well, I think you did a pretty good job. And
thanks.
I'm wondering what will you be doing in few months, because you seem that you will be like really busy if everybody's going to use ngMetadata.
Well, that's what it takes to do open source. Like,
Yeah, that's really nice. Well, I can see that you have a guitar there. What's that?
Yeah, you have also guitar. You can play something.
Oh wow! Yeah, let's do it. Let's just play something.
But unfortunately, I have electric guitar, so you won't hear it.
Right. Well, I think that's the end for this webinar. Hope you have enjoyed it. Obviously, if you have an idea for another webinar, I'm happy to hear it. See you soon.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Martin.
Thanks, Gerard. Bye. Take care.
Take care. Ciao.
Ciao.